Also, ED has raided Chhattisgarh Congress leaders ahead of their plenary. Are institutions, whether EC or ED, being misused by the Modi government? The show that asks the question that no other primetime show dares to ask anymore. The hard questions and truth to power. Let's bring you the 9 headlines at 9. The Mahasena war now escalates. Uddhav Thackeray moves the Supreme Court over the EC decision granting the bow and arrow symbol and party name to Eknath Shinde faction. Uddhav says Ravan can't use Ram's Dhanush. The BJP and Shinde Sena call him a sore loser. The Enforcement Directorate conducts raids at 14 locations across Chhattisgarh on Chief Minister Baghel's close aides in the coal levy scam. Baghel cries vendetta, says BJP worried after success of Bharat Jodo. CBI summons Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia again on February 26th in the Delhi liquor scam probe. Sisodia claims he could be arrested soon. Congress leader Pawan Khera stirs a controversy, calls Prime Minister Narendra Gautam Das Modi instead of Damodar Das. BJP accuses Congress of niche politics as people of India will respond. Congress says the Prime Minister once called Sonia Gandhi a Jersey cow. Ola links a pact with Tamil Nadu government for EV and battery units, sparks a political war in Karnataka. Opposition questions Bomai government on why Karnataka lost out on deal. Politics ahead of the elections in the state. BVR Subramaniam appointed as new CEO of Niti Aayog will succeed Parmeshwaran Iyer, who will move to the US after being appointed executive director of the World Bank for 2 years. Big diplomatic escalation. US President Joe Biden makes a surprise 5-hour visit to war-torn Kiev in Ukraine. Show of unity with Zelensky. Biden promises more arms, artillery and ammo to war-hit Ukraine. Ex-Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan gets bail in one of the 2 cases he is appearing in the Lahore High Court for. Hearing in the second case still underway. Will the former Pakistan Prime Minister be arrested? And after Twitter, Meta starts selling blue verified badges on Instagram and Facebook. Meta verified being tested in Australia and New Zealand. But right at the very top, the big breaking news is coming from Pakistan, where there is high drama outside the Lahore High Court. Ex-Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan has got bail from Lahore High Court in one case, but the hearing is on for a second case of alleged foreign funding that the leader received. If denied bail in the second case, Imran Khan is likely to face arrest by the Federal Investigation Agency. Imran Khan walked into court after over 90 minutes of ruckus by his supporters outside. Imran Khan clearly now facing the heat from the federal agencies, but vowing to fight on and saying that he is not afraid of being arrested. Those are the images that are coming in from Lahore at the moment, and that's the breaking story at the moment. Imran Khan, will he face arrest or not? He's got partial relief in one of the 2 cases at the moment. Jabbar Chaudhary joins me from Lahore live. Jabbar, what can you tell us? Is there a possibility of Imran Khan being arrested tonight or tomorrow?
Thank you, Sardesai ji. I don't think so. There is any kind of possibility of to arrest Imran Khan. Imran Khan appeared in the court just a few minutes ago, and he got bail. He got protective bail from in one case, and he is now being presented to another court in another case. And I think that the same fate will be met at the
How is this, Jabbar, playing out politically? Is Imran Khan getting the public sympathy? We see large crowds outside the court.
Yes, this is totally the being played politically by Imran Khan. As you know, that there was this very much simple case, just one appearance for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. But Imran Khan took 4 days to come to the court, and all drama. Actually, he is sorry to say, but he's a habitual for creating drama for every day.
तो आप कह रहे हो ये ड्रामा है, तो आप कह रहे हो एक तरह से ड्रामा है, पब्लिक सिंपैथी उनको मिल रही है, अरेस्ट होने के चांसेस बहुत कम है, is what you are saying. Jabbar Chaudhary joining me there from Lahore. Thank you very much the top story that was breaking at the moment. Let's come from there back home to the big story here. The Sena versus Sena showdown in Maharashtra that's escalating by the day. After Eknath Shinde, the chief minister, today took over a Shiv Sena office, Uddhav Thackeray launched his most scathing attack, saying Ravan can never hold Ram's Dhanush. All of this comes against the backdrop of the decision on Friday by the Election Commission, which said that the bow and arrow symbol and the party name would go to the Shinde Sena. Uddhav Thackeray says that the EC is a compromised institution, is working on the centre's behest, and insists that he will wage a battle now to recover his Sena symbol. It's our top story tonight.
हे शिवधनुष्य आहे जे रावणाला नाही पेललं ते मिंद्यांना काय पेलणार आहे.
धनुष्यबाण तो गिरवी रखा था उन्होंने, बाला साहब के विचार और ये धनुष्यबाण ये उनकी देन है, उसे तो हमने छुड़ाया है अभी.
The EC order giving the bow and arrow symbol and Shiv Sena name to Chief Minister Eknath Shinde camp, sparking a full-blown political war.
नाम और चिन्ह हमने अपने साथ जो गुलाम आए हैं उनको दे दिया, तो व्यक्ति बोले बहुत अच्छा, मोगैम्बो खुश हुआ.
Staring at a survival crisis, Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray chief Uddhav Thackeray launched the fiercest ever attack at the poll panel. CM Shinde and the BJP.
हे चोरलेलं धनुष्यबाण आहे, चोरलेलं धनुष्यबाण आहे. आणि मी तर आव्हान दिलेलं आहे की हे शिवधनुष्य आहे जे रावणाला नाही पेललं ते मिंद्यांना काय पेलणार आहे. ही परिस्थिती त्यांनी शिवसेनेवर लादण्याचा प्रयत्न केलाय. ही परिस्थिती उद्या देशातल्या कोणत्याही पक्षावरती ते आणू शकतात. आणि आत्ताच जर का याचा मुकाबला केला गेला नाही तर कदाचित येत्या 2024च्या लोकसभेची जी निवडणूक आहे ती आपल्या देशातली शेवटची निवडणूक ठरू शकेल, कारण त्याच्यानंतर हुकुमशाहीचा नंदानाच सुरू होऊ शकतो.
But an unfazed Shinde camp is slowly but steadily taking over key assets of the Uddhav camp. After getting the Shiv Sena symbol and name, Shinde faction took over Sena's Vidhan Sabha office. Amid reports of Shinde camp taking over the BMC office, the Mumbai police increased its surveillance at the civic body headquarters. But the next big fight will be for the Sena Bhavan, though the Shinde faction denies any plan.
सेना भवन ये हमारे लिए मंदिर है. शिवसेना प्रमुख ने बनाया हुआ वो मंदिर जहां हमारे बहुत सारी मीटिंगें हुआ करती थी, लेकिन कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि वो प्रॉपर्टी है, तो हम जाके उनकी प्रॉपर्टी पे हाथ नहीं डालेंगे, लेकिन उस रास्ते से जब गुजरेंगे तो निश्चित हम वहां नमन करेंगे.
And in another setback for Uddhav, the Supreme Court declined urgent mentioning of its plea challenging the poll panel order, asking it to mention the case on Tuesday. Uddhav, in his plea in the top court, has demanded interim stay on the EC order, seeking status quo and relief till its plea is pending. It also accused the poll panel of failing in its duty. Shinde and Uddhav camps also locked horns over allegations of money deal to influence MLAs and buy the Sena symbol.
की 2000 कोटी आतापर्यंत खर्च झाले आहेत. या व्यवहारात शिवसेना हे नाव आणि धनुष्यबाण लेन देन हे कसे आले, कुठून आले, कसे खर्च केले, कोणाला दिले, कालपर्यंत हा व्यवहार चालू होता.
वो ज्योतिष है और ज्योतिष लोगों को ऐसा कोई बोलना नहीं लगता है, वो खुद अपने मन से निकाल देते हैं, तो और भी आगे आगे आंकड़ा बढ़ाएंगे.
After losing the party, Uddhav Thackeray is now reaching out to cadre and public. He has asked senior leaders to go on a statewide tour. With Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me now is my first guest. Priyanka Chaturvedi is the Shiv Sena's face in Parliament. It's Deputy Leader in the Rajya Sabha. Appreciate your joining us, Priyanka Chaturvedi. Let's get it very clear. You've got the Shiv Sena now, or the Shiv Sena Uddhav faction, making accusations against the Election Commission, saying that the Election Commission has been bought over by the centre. It's acting as the agent of the centre. Now, when you make accusations like this, you are effectively being seen to challenge the very neutrality of the Election Commission based at the moment on no hard evidence, but just the fact that the EC order has gone against you.
These charges of calling them entirely compromised institution is not the first time. Do remember, Prashant Bhushanji has gone to court with regards to the appointment of the Election Commission chairperson. If you remember that, and there was a justice, there was a constitutional bench which said what was the tearing hurry in the appointment. I'm not going to be talking about that. I talk only on the basis of the judgment that has been passed in such a hurry, which speaks of test of majority, and I see three problems with that test of majority. A 10th schedule is very clear that the political party is bigger than the legislative party, because the legislative members have come on the back of political party symbol and political party name and the political party leadership. When people see it, they vote for that person. They don't vote for a person, they vote for the political party. And if you've lost faith in that party, 2/3 of them have lost faith in the party. 10th schedule is very clear. They have stopped to recognize a split anymore. That changed in 2003. It is unlawful. It is not part of the constitution that an election commission recognizes this as a split. The only thing that they can do as per the 10th schedule is merge into another party or form their own party and stand for a re-election and win people's mandate. That's part one. Now they say test of majority. Test of majority, like I said, political party is made up more of its legislative majority.
No, that's your view, ma'am. That's your view. I can throw at you the fact that in 1971, during the Congress split, it was made very clear by the Supreme Court in the Sadiq Ali case that it was entirely the Election Commission's prerogative.
Again, let me repeat what was decided in 1971. There was a constitutional amendment in the 10th schedule in the anti-defection law. 2003. So don't quote me Sadiq Ali to say that what has happened is correct. Secondly, a political party, when you're handing over political party and a political name on the basis of legislative majority, please also remember that legislative majority is sub judice and is being heard in the highest court of Indian judiciary. The Supreme Court 5-judge bench is hearing the legislative majority, out of which 16 MLAs stand to be suspended, disqualified, if the final verdict is heard by the Supreme Court, or they could not be disqualified. But when CJ Ramana was demitting office and he was hearing this case, he had very categorically told the Election Commission, no decision can be made till the Supreme Court has not finally heard all sides of the story and taken a call. So I'm sorry, it's bad in law. Election Commission is not just because Priyanka Chaturvedi's sentiment says this, or Priyanka Chaturvedi's sentiments are heard. Priyanka Chaturvedi is only making a case of how this Election Commission decision is bad in law.
You're making a case that the election... Just a minute, ma'am. You're saying it's bad in law. You can't go purely by a legislative majority. You've got to go by the political party who controls it. Now, the fact is the EC in its order has said that there was a lack of inner party democracy in the Shiv Sena. The constitution of the Shiv Sena has been mutilated to undemocratically appoint people from a coterie as office bearers without any election at all. These are the words used in the order.
Again, I repeat to you, the entire order works like this. They have decided they want to hand it over to somebody, so they will find reasons. Now to the constitutional inner party democracy. I will not go into BJP ki inner party democracy kya unka president kaise chunkar aate hain. I will not get into that. An election commission to make these kind of comments where he says surreptitiously made changes in 2018. Again, that is an incorrect statement to make, because it was validated by all the office bearers, including Eknath Shinde. The changes that were made in 2018 were handed over to the Election Commission of India, and it was as per the Election Commission requirements. And third, it is not even Eknath Shinde's case in the Election Commission when they were fighting for the party symbol and the party name that internal party democracy was a problem. He was a beneficiary of the entire constitutional changes.
Priyanka,
So it is a very ridiculous
so
charge
you're saying that
And
the
one
election
second.
commission
And
has
last
not...
part.
Okay, no, just a minute, ma'am. You see, you can have a point of view and you've gone to the Supreme Court today. But the fact is, when your leaders like Sanjay Raut, your leader in the Rajya Sabha, says deals worth rupees 2,000 crores have been struck to purchase Shiv Sena name and poll symbol. Now you're making a very, very serious allegation, virtually suggesting that the election commission has been bought over. Now, when you make a serious allegation as a responsible public figure, you've got to provide some evidence. 2,000 crores have been spent, you're saying, to buy a poll symbol.
Okay, so let me tell you something. If this charge has been made, shouldn't it be the responsibility of, let's say, the Enforcement Directorate, the CBI, IT to probe this? Please remember, Shri Sanjay Rautji was put behind bars and his bail order is unconstitutional, immoral activity to have been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Without evidence, without a shred of evidence, he was put behind bars for over 3 months. You are seeing a very overzealous Enforcement Directorate in the case of, let's say, what happened in Chhattisgarh today, in the Congress party elected state. And you see total silence of ED in the case of Adani Group. All we're saying is, you have to check whether there has been an exchange of money.
No,
then
exchange of money to whom? Are you telling me, are you telling me that election commission officials have taken the money? Or are you saying Eknath Shinde's camp has taken money A to switch sides and then they purchased the EC?
Exactly. The legislative majority, if you go to any home in Maharashtra today, they will tell you what Pannas Khoke Ekdam Okay means. When they're greeted with these slogans every home they visit or every time they are at a rally, you will understand what that means. You will understand that people of Maharashtra and their sentiments are very strongly behind Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and Andheri East Bypole, where Election Commission overnight froze our symbols and gave us a new party symbol, gave us a new party name. We contested and won on that as well. All I'm discussing here is something being bad in law, pushed across hastily, seems drafted in, the Home Minister's office, perhaps, in the Bharatiya Janata Party camp. And I will only repeat what Arun Jaitley ji said, that post-retirement positions affect pre-retirement judgments. He said this about judiciary. But we are seeing this happen across board, across institutions, and India cannot afford that.
Okay.
And this is not about just the Shiv Sena fight, it is a fight for constitutional morality and democratic principles of this country and whether our institutions are truly independent or not.
So you are basically saying the EC is not independent. You've even gone to the extent of believing that this order has been written in the Home Minister's office. Those are your words, not mine.
I repeat it.
You're saying the order of an election commission has been written in the Home Minister's office.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It was a Home Minister who came to Pune 2 days ago and he said this was Satyamev Jayate movement. Satyamev Jayate moment will truly be when our institutions truly become independent and they stand up for what they have been given responsibility for.
Okay.
We are unfortunately seeing overzealousness on part of ED, IT, CBI, and there are empty number of examples I can give you, but I'm not going into that. In terms of Election Commission also, even the appointment of the chairman was challenged, not by political parties, but by Mr. Prashant Bhushan, who has been a leading light as far
made
as
that point earlier. Okay.
Governance is
Let's
so
leave
all
it
I'm
there.
saying is, let's be fair.
Okay.
And
you made your point. You made your point. You all have gone to the court. We'll wait and see whether the Supreme Court agrees with what your proposition is, that this order is bad in law. Priyanka Chaturvedi joining me here on the news today. Appreciate your joining us. Now, all of this is happening, remember, on a day when the Enforcement Directorate was also in the news, conducting searches at 14 locations in Chhattisgarh in connection with an alleged coal levy scam. Some of the premises raided are linked to Congress legislators and office bearers, close aides of Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. Remember, the Congress is to hold its plenary in 4 days' time in Raipur, and the raids were carried out amongst others at Devendra Yadav's residence, a close aide of the Chief Minister. Listen in to what the Congress and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had to say on the ED investigations.
Particularly if it is income tax and ED, after having sent quite a number of questionnaires for which they get their complete reply or partial reply or no reply, it is only after that they go. It cannot be done overnight by any instinct. So, it's a strange thing that a party who's past president, current president, no, maybe not current president, past president, and the one before past president, on corruption and money mismanagement matters are all out there on bail.
इस रेट से कोई घबराने वाले नहीं है. सीधा सीधा ये राजनीतिक दबाव के चलते विधायकों के यहाँ, हमारे पार्टी के पदाधिकारियों के यहाँ छापा डालने का मतलब क्या है? वो संदेश देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आप काम मत करो. अरे ये पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी है जो अंग्रेजों से नहीं डरे, इनसे क्या डरेंगे हम?
Let's raise the big questions then. From Election Commission to Enforcement Directorate, are institutions and central agencies being misused by the Modi government to target the opposition, as the opposition claims? Were the raids in Chhattisgarh, for example, timed to match the Congress's plenary session? Are the raids an embarrassment for Baghel? And of course, is this all going to play out? How is this going to play out politically? Sanju Verma is the BJP's spokesperson. Rohan Gupta is the Congress's spokesperson. Appreciate both of you joining us. Sanju Verma, to you first. Let's be very clear. You may have heard Priyanka Chaturvedi claiming that the EC is not a neutral body, that the order was written in the Home Minister's office. You've got the Congress now, Bhupesh Baghel, saying ED is being used to, in a way, browbeat the Congress. Somewhere do you concede that institutions, at least prima facie, appear from the external observer's point of view to be misused? The ED is hyperactive in Congress and opposition ruled states, inactive and inert in BJP ruled states.
You know, Rajdeep, Hindi mein there is a kahavat, Kisyani billi khamba noche. You know, when you don't get the grapes are rancid. I won't dignify Priyanka Chaturvedi's statements. You asked her some very pointed questions and all I could see her doing was filibustering and engaging in whataboutery. She quoted Justice Ramana, and let me tell you, Justice Ramana on the 27th of June 2022 clearly said, when Uddhav Thackeray said that please first give a judgment on the disqualification of those MLAs who have abandoned the Uddhav Thackeray camp and joined Eknath Shinde, and it is only then that I will be able to take a judgmental call politically and morally about the impending floor test on the floor of Maharashtra Assembly. And Justice Ramana clearly said that there is no precedent that the disqualification of MLAs has anything to do with a floor test. We know our job. You go ahead with a floor test. The judgment pertaining to disqualification of MLAs or otherwise will happen when it has to happen. I have this question to ask Rajdeep. Why is it that when Uddhav Thackeray knew that he had a pretty good chance of proving the majority on the 30th of June 2022, which was the date set by the Supreme Court, what does he do? Late afternoon on the 29th of June 2022, Uddhav Thackeray throws in the towel and says, I have resigned, submitting his letter to the then governor, Mr. Koshyari. No, let me finish. Which basically shows that here is the chief minister who did not even have the confidence to go for a floor test. Today he's whining, sulking, cursing the BJP, Amit Shah, Narendra Modi. I asked Uddhav Thackeray this. If you were so confident that you had a good case, if you knew that you had worked for the people of Maharashtra, why is it that you were so scared to take that floor test on 30th June 2022? In hindsight, you can blame the Enforcement Directorate, you can cast aspersions on the Election Commission, but that is a typical characteristic of people who are electorally
let me give you figures. Let me give you figures when it comes to Enforcement Directorate in particular. 95% of the cases of the Enforcement Directorate since 2014 have been seen to target the opposition leaders. That it is in opposition ruled state that the Enforcement Directorate is there. Karnataka, there have been a list of several scams. Have you ever seen the ED going into Karnataka? Amit Shah goes to Meghalaya and says this is the most corrupt government in the country, a government which the BJP was part of. Have you heard of the Enforcement Directorate ever going to Meghalaya? Question, therefore, are they not legitimate questions to be asked, ma'am? If in states where the BJP is ruled, there is no Enforcement Directorate, but in states where the opposition is ruled, like today Chhattisgarh, the Enforcement Directorate is seen to be hyperactive.
You know, Rajdeep, thank you today for not interjecting me. We are having a very sane debate. You very pertinent question. And I have this to say by way of a rebuttal. Why is it that nobody seems to understand that na khaunga na khane dunga is not just a platitude? You tell me. Should the ED not have investigated the National Herald scam? Is it the BJP which dictated the Supreme Court in 2016 when the Gandhis went with folded hands? Please watch the National Herald scam proceedings against us. What did the Supreme Court say? It said nothing doing. The proceedings will
You're
continue.
not answering my question. You're not answering my
question,
question, ma'am. Where is the ED in Karnataka? Where is it in Meghalaya? Where is it in states where the BJP is in power?
Arnab, sorry.
No,
sorry.
please don't call me Arnab. You can call me a lot of things.
Sorry.
Please don't call me Arnab, but that's okay.
Sorry, that was an inadvertent slip.
Yeah,
I
but
apologize.
please answer. Please forget the slip. Answer my question. Where is the ED in
Let me ask you
Karnataka
one
where
thing.
there are a series of scams?
Please,
What is this? Khaunga ka khane dunga has to apply for all, not just for opposition.
Question पूछा है, जवाब सुनिए ना.
भाई आप दे नहीं रही जवाब.
नहीं, you are asking me a question, but you want to put words into my mouth. आप नहीं decide करोगे ना मैं क्या जवाब दूंगी. You can agree or disagree, Rajdeep, right? You cannot put words into Sanju Verma's mouth. Now let me tell you one thing. Be it, the National Herald scam, be it in Maharashtra, the Patra Chawl scam, Priyanka Chaturvedi was saying Shri Sanjay Raut ji. I found it so laughable. 672 tenants had to be given new flats. And what does Sanjay Raut go and do? He goes and sells 910 crores worth of floor space index.
I am asking you again. Ma'am, I will ask you again. I am not going to. I have now decided now I am going to ask you a question. You cannot run away from it. The Home Minister of the country has gone to Meghalaya 2 days ago, said it's the most corrupt government in the country. Why is there no ED investigation in Meghalaya?
Can you please stop talking when I'm talking?
No, ma'am, you are not answering my question. When you don't answer my question, I will continue to ask it.
Do you have the audacity now to listen to what I'm saying?
You're not answering my question. Where's the ED?
Now I'm answering your question. So, मान लेते हैं Rajdeep Sardesai is very upset at the investigations against the Gandhis in the National Herald
I'm
scam.
not.
Rajdeep Sardesai believes Sanjay Raut is the incarnate of Raja Harishchandra.
Not
Now,
said
you
that.
tell me, Rajdeep.
Don't put words in my mouth now.
Rajdeep, now you listen to me.
I won't listen to you if you don't answer my question.
There was I'm answering now. Please keep quiet. Don't heckle me. There was a historic judgment on the 27th of July 2022. And I challenge you, Rajdeep Sardesai, to run foul of the Supreme Court to engage in contempt of court. The entire opposition went and pleaded, saying Enforcement Directorate has become a tool of the Modi government. What did the Supreme Court say? While the case is still pending adjudication, as of now, the Supreme Court categorically said that the Enforcement Directorate has the right to not give a FIR to the so-called culprit. The Enforcement Directorate has the right to conduct suo moto search and seizure operations.
Okay. Producer, we have new rules now here.
Are you challenging the Supreme Court verdict?
Okay, I asked you about Karnataka. You talk about some other case. Now, producer, let's go. It cannot be a monopoly. Let's now go to Rohan Gupta. Rohan Gupta, you are the head of the social media team of the Congress. I hope that your line now can be heard. You got the line right. You should get your connections right. I want to ask you straight.
So my connection was right.
No, let's get it very clear. Let's get it very clear. There's a coal levy scam, sir. There is a coal levy scam in your state of Chhattisgarh. Now, when the EC chooses to investigate is up to the EC. The fact is that the EC claimed they have foolproof a case based on a mail trail. Now, are you saying that the EC is not allowed to investigate in a Congress ruled state?
No, absolutely not. First of all, Rajdeep, I joined at 9 o'clock. Since you were running this Shiv Sena story,
right.
I was told that I will be connected back. So let me clarify that.
Okay.
Point number 2, it's not about EC or ED or anybody, going to Chhattisgarh and all. It's about the selective activities by ED. 5,412 cases by ED, and name one BJP leader or worker who has been interrogated or any action is taken against them by ED or CBI. Forget that. Narayan Rane, Yedurappa, Eshwarappa, Sumen Mitra, I'll list at least 100 such leaders where they joined BJP and the running cases, there is been no action. Assam CM, Hemanto, what happened? There were cases against him, and as soon as he joined BJP, the cases were obviously there is no action after that. So the issue is these agencies are only made for the opposition leaders and opposition workers. Give me one name, not even a single
But
name.
that's because there are cases that make you vulnerable. That you have dark secrets in your cupboard and they are tumbling out.
So this is खाऊंगा नहीं पर भाजपा को खाने दूंगा. This is the rule of BJP, Shiv Sena. Mr. Shinde, who is now their de facto CM, there were cases against him. As soon as he has become CM, no action against him. So this is not Sahyog, Rajdeep. This is Prayog of BJP on the democracy of India. They want to create the atmosphere of fear.
Sanju Verma, please. No, you cannot speak over his voice.
This is not the way.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I don't know what. This is really a bad habit of this spokesperson. She speaks in between. Why can't she listen for 5 minutes? At least there should be some manners.
Okay,
see,
please go
Rajdeep, the issue here is very simple. That this is the atmosphere of fear which BJP wants to create across India by misusing these agencies so that nobody can dare to raise their voice. It's not about the politicians.
Okay, so you're saying it is the misuse of central agencies. Sanju Verma, I will ask you one last time a direct question. According to Rohan Gupta, it is not na khaunga na khane dunga. It is na khaunga na BJP na khaunga lekin BJP ko khane dunga.
That dunga BJP ko khane dunga.
Okay, the fact is Sanju Verma, all the cases that are listed out. I'll give you another example, less known. Pratap Sarnaik is a Shiv Sena leader from Maharashtra.
Okay, I know.
No, 1 minute, man. No, you must listen now. No.
You will give examples.
Producer, bring the voice down. The fact is, there was an ED case against him. He reportedly went and wept in front of Mr. Amit Shah in his office and said, I am ready to do anything, switch sides, please get the ED off my back. Guess what? He has switched to the Eknath Shinde camp. All the ED cases against him have gone. ये public है, ये सब जानती है संजू वर्मा. अंदर क्या है, बाहर क्या है, सब पहचानती है. Now it is time you started getting real. What happened to Pratap Sarnaik? You have become a washing machine.
Now stop giving me a lecture.
You are a washing machine of India.
Lecture now, let's respond.
You are a washing machine of India.
You have the patience to listen. Please stop interjecting me and heckling me. I think you can do better than that.
Are you a washing machine?
I think Rajdeep Sardesai can do better than that.
Are you a washing machine?
Stop being a heckler. Thank you. You can do better than that.
Are you a washing machine?
Thank you. You can do better than being.
Are you a washing machine? Are you a washing machine?
Hold your horses, Rajdeep Sardesai.
I will keep asking this question. Are you a washing machine?
आप एक कांग्रेस के प्रवक्ता नहीं, एक
I am asking you a question, you are not answering it. Are you a washing machine?
Can I answer that?
Please.
Can I answer that?
Please.
Thank you. Now, Rajdeep, let me tell you. Has the Patra Chawl scam involving Sanjay Raut happened? Yes. The case is under trial. Have the Gandhis acquired 5,000 crore worth of assets reportedly by virtue of paying just a piddly 50 lakh rupees and have acquired 76% stake in Young Indians through which they control Associated Journal? Yes, the Supreme Court has refused to quash proceedings. Point number 3, has there been a poll scam under Abhishek Banerjee? The CBI and ED are probing it. Point number 4, if there is a case against Narendra Modi, why don't you go to the court? Rajdeep Sardesai knows this better than anybody else, that for 20 years, Prime Minister Modi had recently in June 2022, he faced every court, every single judicial,
I asked you about Pratap Sarnaik, Yediyurappa.
और भी गुजरात राइट, प्रधानमंत्री को 20 साल तक आपने डिमोलाइज किया, वो आपको बहुत सब चंगा थी, बस संजय राउत, राहुल गांधी, सोनिया गांधी के खिलाफ हम कुछ ना बोले, क्यों? तब कुछ चंगा नहीं थी.
Okay, you're not going to answer my question about a washing machine. I will leave it there. Sanju Verma, Rohan Gupta, the problem with having party spokespersons is that they are simply unwilling to answer the straight, direct questions. And that's the pity. As I said, ये public है, ये सब जानती है. अंदर क्या है, बाहर क्या है, सब कुछ पहचानती है. Sanju Verma, Rohan Gupta, next time when you come on the show, please do answer the direct question. I know that most anchors no longer ask you the questions, so you think you can get away with it. I will not allow you to get away with it anymore. So thank you both very much for joining me on the show. But next time, be a little bit more honest perhaps in your answers. Let's turn from there to tonight's ground report, where Rajasthan's communal cauldron is now boiling over the Bhiwani twin murder. Victims' families staging protests demanding justice, but the prime accused in the case, Monu Manesar, is simply not yet willing to come before the law. This is the case where 2 Muslims were killed allegedly by vigilante groups. Take a look.
Monu Manesar, the prime accused in the Bhiwani twin murders, is still absconding, despite a manhunt by police forces of 2 states, Rajasthan and Haryana. The Gaurakshak, or cow vigilante with deep ties with the Bajrang Dal, is a known troublemaker. This viral video shows Monu firing several rounds from a pistol in Haryana's Pataudi, where clashes were reported between 2 groups last week. Monu is also wanted in an attempt to murder case registered at Pataudi police station in Gurugram on Feb 7th. The delay in arresting Monu is making families of alleged murder victims Junaid and Nasir wary. They have staged protest demanding justice.
जो मोनू मानेसर है सर, उसने जो हत्या की है तब तक वो गिरफ्तार नहीं होता, मैं सर यहाँ से नहीं उठूँगा, क्योंकि जो हमारी मांग है वो मांग पूरी होनी चाहिए और उसको अरेस्ट करके फांसी की सज़ा देनी चाहिए उसको.
While the victims' families have named Monu as the mastermind behind the alleged abduction and murder of the 2, the chief suspect has denied the charges against him.
उस घटना से हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं है. पुलिस अच्छे से जांच करे और इसमें सीबीआई जांच हो कि जो दोषी हैं उनको पकड़ा जाए और जो बजरंग दल को, हमारे संगठन को, इतने बड़े संगठन को जो समाज सेवा में लगा हुआ है उसको बदनाम कर रहे हैं, उसके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए.
Monu claims to have CCTV footage from the day of the murder that places him in Gurugram with his friends. Meanwhile, Haryana police have started the process to cancel the arms license of Monu Manesar. The Bajrang Dal member has been the face of the cow protection movement in Haryana. Photos of senior police officers posing with Monu Manesar are viral. Junaid and Nasir were allegedly abducted from Bharatpur in Rajasthan last week. Their bolero with 2 charred bodies was found the next day in Bhiwani in Haryana. The results of forensic and DNA tests to confirm the identities of the bodies are awaited.
Haryana police has started cancellation process of arms licenses of Monu Manesar, who is one of the 5 accused in this case. However, in an exclusive conversation with India Today, Monu Manesar has refuted all the allegations and said that he is being framed only to defame Bajrang Dal. On the other hand, victims' families are decrying police apathy and still not confident about justice. With Arvind Oja, this is Rahul Gautam reporting for India Today.
Where is Monu Manesar? I saw a picture of him on social media with a senior police officer. The question is, why is he not therefore appearing before the police? Think about that. Let's turn from there to the big story making the headlines globally, because 4 days ahead of the first anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war, US President Joe Biden landed in Kiev on a surprise visit. Biden was seen walking with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in the city square. The visit signals a big diplomatic escalation. The US president promising big arms to Ukraine, including artillery, ammunition, anti-armor systems, air surveillance, radars, in a war that at the moment just doesn't seem to end.
You know, 1 year later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands, democracy stands. The Americans stand with you, and the world stands with you. Kyiv has captured a part of my heart, I must say. I've come here 6 times as vice president, once as president, and in 2009 as vice president when I first came here. Then back in 2014, I came 3 times in the aftermath of the Revolution of Dignity. And I again came in 2015 to address the Rada about the work of building a strong democracy.
I thank to the President of the United States for supporting our work on restoring the justice, more specifically in the work of all of our institutions in that area. And we believe there's no alternatives to the establishment of the special tribunal. This is the position of of Ukraine, and we shall support this position. And I would really like the United States to be engaged in the implementation of our peace formula, because its implementation would mean a reinforcement of global stability and the predictability of international relations. And we have some achievements in this area already this week in New York, together with the United States of America.
Let me go straight across to Kiev. I'm joined by Sofia Fedena. She is a Ukrainian MP. Sofia, thanks very much for being patient and waiting for us. I want to understand, how is Ukraine seeing the President of the United States visit? Does this mean now that the war, if anything, will escalate because Ukraine is now feeling well armed by the United States, that this is a war without an end?
I would like to correct the speaker at the very beginning before I entered the live. He said about Moscow-Ukrainian war. And I would say, and every Ukrainian says, about Moscow full-scale invasion into Ukraine. Ukraine defends its people. Ukraine defends its territory, never wanting to take any centimeter of Moscow sovereign territory after that was fixed after the demise of the Soviet Union. And for Ukrainians, in this context of the defense of our future, this visit of Joseph Biden was a very strong signal that Ukraine is not alone in its fight, that Moscow Federation, injustice, totalitarianism, murders that Moscow Federation brings to Ukraine, they will not last forever. And they should be stopped by all the civilized countries. This visit is not only because of weapon. For our military, this weapon is critically necessary to protect our cities.
Sophia, but what is the end game here? As Joe Biden said, he will ensure that the Ukrainians are armed. Now, that could be a red flag to the Russians, who don't seem to be letting up. So, do you see an end game at all? Will the war only escalate further now that winter comes to an end?
Would you be so kind to hear me? We are not using our arms to attack Moscow Federation. We are using arms to defend our people. And unfortunately, we still do have countries on the east from Moscow Federation that give money, give technologies, and give resources to Moscow to kill Ukrainians. And I think that Joe Biden's visit was also a strong message to all the world that Putin is not going to win. The Moscow Empire is about to collapse, and all the countries should decide on which side they are. Do they support democracy and peace, or they support Putin, terrorism, and murders? If the countries can make a choice, and that choice will make sure what the future of all the countries will have.
But I want to understand from you, ma'am, what is the end game that you see? You say Putin will not win this war, but at the moment it seems that he's not willing to let up. What do you see happening that will, according to you, convince you that it will be will we have a swift end?
I never said that we are not going to win this war. I'm totally sure that...
No, you said that Putin cannot win the war. You said Putin cannot win the war. I take your point, but how?
I never said that. Because when a year ago, Moscow army attacked Kiev, almost every country in the world was sure that Ukraine fails. And Ukraine stopped the aggression of Putin. We got back Moscow army from Kyiv, from Kharkiv, from Mykolaiv, from Kherson. Yes, still right now the war is going on, but we are fighting actually for peace, and we would never take any weapon if there is no aggression and murderers on our territory.
Right.
And I think that this visit gives a possibility for the top leaders of the world finally to sit down and to find a way how to stop Putin.
Okay.
We can be sure he is very weak. Yes, he still has army. Yes, he still has support of some countries. But I do think that the majority of people in the world and the leaders of their countries want to have stability in the future.
Okay.
And Putin is the person who ruins that. Maybe it's easy to stop one person.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Clearly, what you believe is that this visit will, in a way, bring more and more countries on the side of Ukraine to stop what you've called the invasion of Russia. They will keep putting the pressure.
Not what I call, but what it is really.
Okay.
Moscow invaded
I
Ukraine.
take your point. The invasion of Ukraine, not the war in Ukraine, as you call it. Appreciate, Sophia, you joining us there from Kiev. Thank you very much. Let me take a break at this point. When we return, we are going to turn to our good news today's story. We've heard a lot of political heat. There is always good news in this wonderful country. Back in a moment.
I think there's an opportunity for India particularly to work with the United States and others.
India is the largest, has the largest vaccine manufacturer in the world.
I thought if it's blowing in the wind, it's best I'm on the motorcycle. And I did 15,000 kilometers in 36 days.
Rich countries have a particular obligation to exercise their investment in innovation.
I believe that global business has the money and the power.
Improvements in the way we understand the importance of education and healthcare.
You have a greater chance of killing yourself than of being killed by any soldier or terrorist or criminal.
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
You think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Welcome back. Let's turn to tonight's Good News Today story. As India is currently holding the presidency of the G20, the security of dignitaries becomes a primary concern. More than 30 dogs are on their way to become K9 soldiers of the Delhi police. These K9 soldiers will provide an extra layer of protection to various G20 events. It's our Good News story.
These are no ordinary dogs. They are our four-legged soldiers getting trained at ITBP Bhanu Training Center, Panchkula. As India hosts this year's G20 summit, these dogs will add teeth to the security for all events. Currently, 34 dogs along with 40 handlers of Delhi police are undergoing training.
उनको यहाँ पे एक्सप्लोजिव की ट्रेनिंग दी जा रही है और एक्सप्लोजिव से पहले हम इनको बेसिक कोर्स करवाते हैं 12 वीक का और जिसमें हम इसको अपने साथ रहना, उठना, बैठना, हमारा कहना मानना सब चीजें सिखाते हैं और उसके बाद हमारा 12 वीक का एक्सप्लोजिव का कोर्स होगा जिसमें हम इनको टोटल एक्सप्लोजिव के बारे में, इनको गंद के बारे में बताएंगे, इसकी गंद कैसी होती है, हर एक्सप्लोजिव की अलग अलग गंद होती है, तो ये उसके माइंड में ये 12 वीक में सेट हो जाएगा। उसके बाद हम इनको दिल्ली लेके जाएंगे 6 महीने के कोर्स के बाद।
After completing their training, the dogs will be able to detect even a small amount of explosive.
ये डॉग जो हैं फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर का काम करते हैं। टेक्निकल गैजेट्स भी होते हैं जिसमें लीनियर डिटेक्शंस किट होती हैं जो एक्सप्लोजिव के वेपर्स को डिटेक्ट करता है। इसी तरह से मेटल को डिटेक्ट करने के लिए DSMD होते हैं। लेकिन जो डॉग है, डॉग आपके एक्सप्लोजिव को बहुत दूर से सूंघ लेता है। अगर छोटी भी ट्रेसेस होता है वो बहुत अच्छे ढंग से ढूंढ लेता है। इसी वजह से आपने देखा होगा एयरपोर्ट पे और जहां पर भी सेंसिटिव जगह पे हैं वहां डॉग्स को जरूर ले आ जाता है।
The canine warriors have a big task ahead of providing foolproof security at the G20 events. Big responsibility on these small shoulders. With Girish and Lalit Sharma from Panchkula, Bureau Report, India Today.
Lovely dogs there. Let's leave you though with our image of the day. It comes from Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met interacting with the relief and rescue team involved in Operation Dost in Turkey. He called the efforts put in by the security forces, the NDRF, inspirational, lauding them for their professionalism and their humanitarian approach. Toll crossed over 46,000. Heart-wrenching images coming in from the devastating earthquake in that country. Red balloons hover over rubble as a tribute to the children who died in the earthquake. Tonight, we leave you with our thoughts and prayers with the people of Turkey. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Can we really untangle the politics of hair? This art campaign by artist Rohit Chawla comes with a social commentary. This rebellious work with an interactive element challenges those who try to corner women and their agency.
If you look at our history, when it was, and you read about the Mahabharata, Draupadi faced the same issue where she was pulled by the hair. So it's not about being just liberated in a way where you just want to just do what you have to do, but the society has to give you the choices to make. So his comment is on that, which is called Hair and Her.
It makes you act, it makes you think, and most importantly make you ask many questions like, do we all secretly hair shave? Or how much of our self-worth is governed by hair? Or on women being shamed for facial hair, to different races and the systemic oppression of women's bodily expressions.
Hair is a metaphor of an expression. When you look at a woman's hair, you actually try to identify her personality through her hair. And that is what, over the years, society has tried to curb. So now it's, that is a metaphor that is used and looking at what is happening in the world. And it's not only an issue that is to do with India, but it is a global issue.
Art has always been a force of social change, and this project aims to be just that and much more. In New Delhi with Vaishnavi Kaharwar, Chaiti Narula for India Today.